Okay, I'm going to get started for the sake of time. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen ar-Rahman ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Okay, I am going to share your lesson plan again in the chat, and I will also do a screen share, inshallah. There we go. Can you all see it? Okay, if you have any questions, I might not be able to see your chat immediately, so maybe Rula or somebody can unmute themselves and just ask their question, or if you want to type it up, somebody let me know in case I don't see it. All right, so the first group was Amani, Ihlam, and Sahar. Are all three of you here?
I am here. Amani, maybe she's from home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Sahar, we don't know. Okay. And so did you want to talk about your lesson plan, one of you? Amani, did you want to go?
I think Ahlam, because I'm sick. I can't talk that
Ahlam?
much. Yeah. Please, Ahlam, go.
Okay, the plan is for the age 10 to 14. The topic is Adab al-Tariq. And we want the kids to know how to respect the road rules by Islamic way.
What do you mean by road rules?
Like Adab al-Tariq. If you see anybody like older to cross the street, or you find something like big rocks or big wood in the street, and the cars, they can stop and take this one off. And you need to be not, when you drive or when you need to cross the street, like for the kids, you need to be seeing the right and the left. Stop till all the cars go. Don't just run and cross the street. From the beginning of their life, they need to know this. I know these things, they are giving them in the public school, but also important thing for the Islamic student to understand how our way, these rules from the public school or anywhere, it's coming from the Islamic study, from Sirat al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, from Rasulullah. He is the one who teaches us that.
Okay, so you're going to be mentioning in your teaching hadith and
yes,
stories from there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and the age I see is 10 to 14. So Malika or Rula or anyone, do you have any questions?
I just wanted to ask, it's Adab al-Tariq, is it more like, in this case, it would be al-aman, like safety, right? It's not adab in this case. Am I right?
It's but also the safety, you can take it part of the Islamic too.
But it's not manners, it's not akhlaq, it's more like safety as opposed to because like I get the part where, for example, you might cross with someone and help them cross, etc. But when you cross the road, it's for your own safety.
Yes.
So maybe the topic wouldn't be adab, right? It's not manners, it's the safety of crossing and the safety of the roads. Like even in the public school system, they refer this to safety of road safety, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think so my just note is maybe just the reference, what it's called. It's a beautiful topic and I love it. MashaAllah, I really like that idea. I've never heard anyone take it on themselves to teach it to students, MashaAllah, in Islamic schools. It's beautiful. I love that. I just think just the reference should be different. Anyone agree?
Yeah, sorry, Rula. Can I jump in here? I think from what I get from what the sister said, I think it's both things. Because she's trying to say, like, for example, in public school, they teach you road safety, but they don't teach the component of etiquette, right? The adab part where you do things in terms of your own safety, but then, for example, you would remove a boulder from a road because you're helping others, right? So then it would be road safety and etiquette at the same time, because that's the part Islam would bring together. That's what my understanding was.
Yes. Can I speak, Ahlam? Yes, that's what was my plan. Like the lesson was about road manners. So I would like to speak with them about the road manners when you are walking. What should you do? Like you shouldn't be looking around you. Like you shouldn't be throwing things in the road. Like all the things. When you are driving, you should be following the speed limit. You should be watching for like elderly around you. When you are riding on a bus, you should wait for your turn and all this stuff. And how can it be related to be a good Muslim? Because you are respecting each other, because you are keeping everything clean, because you are like, yeah. So I'm trying all the time to connect any reading lesson with being a Muslim, even through like an ayah or through hadith or dua, anything, like to make sure that yeah, you are doing that as good because you are a Muslim, because you are a good Muslim.
Okay, that's actually amazing. You actually even topped the Islamic school in that sense. I mean, the public school, because they just, they do the road safety and that's it. So mashallah, no, I love that. It's an amazing plan, inshallah.
How will you grab their attention and make it interesting so that you're not just telling, but you're showing? What is the method that you've decided to do? Aslam, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. For this age, they are learning from what the public school is saying to them. Some of them are just new, some of them they are just a newcomer. They don't know anything about some of them. They don't know anything about Islam. We need to mention that it's also the Islam is the first who is mentioned for adab tariq or ihtiram road or respect the road or respect the way how you cross or how you drive or how you help the people in there.
Yes.
So I would maybe start the class because you want to grab their attention. I would maybe start with news. So have you heard the news of
Kids hit
an accident or someone, as you said, إماطة الأذى عن الطريق, so removing something harmful from the road. We always hear about these little stories of people paying attention to little things and how that just prevented a big accident, let's say. So I would start with something to grab their attention, a story. You've written that you would show scenarios of wrong things that happened. I would share both. I would share good things and mistakes that happened, and maybe have it as an open discussion, especially for this age group. You want to keep it as an open discussion. What do you guys think? Where do you see something that could have happened differently, and so on. Just so we can link it to their everyday life, because this is everyday life etiquette and adab. So we want to make the children feel like this is part of their daily life. Yeah.
For sure, that's great. Let's move on to the next one. I don't know who did this one because you don't have your names here. Do you know who did this one? Group 2? I think all of you are muted, so in case somebody's talking, if you want to just. Okay, we're going to go to group 3 for now. Sally and Hawa, you are here, right?
Yeah, I'm in group 2.
Yes. Yes, we are here.
You're here?
Yeah, I'm here with Manar in group 2.
Okay, so group 2, what's the name of the people in group 2?
Hind, Manar.
Hind and Manar. Okay, what was your topic? I don't see anything written here.
Yeah, the topic was about explanation and tafsir of Surah Al-Ma'un.
Surah Ma'un?
Yes.
Okay, so what age was it for?
7 to 10 years old.
Okay. And what's your objective? What's the message that you're going to be teaching?
Yeah, so the message from this surah in general, I asked it at the beginning some questions at the beginning of the class. So the meaning of the word al-ma'un, and I want the kids. Yeah, I want the kids to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this time when he sent Sayyidina Jibreel to Sayyidina Muhammad about Surah Al-Ma'un, at that time the Muslims were in Mecca, but how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taking care about small things between people, like when you when you give somebody something really simple, like for example, something you use it in your home, dishes.
I'm gonna have to interrupt. Hang on. We can't hear you. It's really disruptive.
Exactly. You know, could you give us 5 minutes? We have a kind of technician problem here.
You'll probably have to go into different rooms. I don't think you can do different devices in one room. Is there somebody who's from online, and what group were they on? We can start with them. Who's at home right now? And you can probably talk. How are you at home?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to talk about yours? Did you do this with Sally?
Yeah. We will teach the kids about أعضاء الجسم, the parts of the body, and first we will ask them how we will explain how all the parts of the body are important for us, and we will read a story for them. This story, can I read it or?
Yes, please let us know. Is it a long one?
No, it's not long.
Okay,
So, في أحد الليالي تشاجرت أعضاء الجسم حول أهمية كل منها. قالت اليد قالت اليد أنا الأقوى، هل تستطيع مسك القلم من غير أصابعي؟
So you teach in Arabic, not in English.
Pardon?
You teach in Arabic, not in English in class?
Yeah, in Arabic.
Okay.
So I teach Arabic kids. I don't have anyone who can't speak Arabic in my class. So can I continue or?
So what you can just tell us about, because not everybody here understands Arabic. So what is the story about?
The story about how are all the parts of the body important for us, and we can so I mean
I'm gonna let Ines do this because this is her expertise.
Yeah, so it's important, the order of things you're doing is very important here, because we're talking about people that barely know any Arabic or don't know any Arabic or have some knowledge in Arabic. So right here, we want to start by grabbing their attention, and this is where your rhymes come in at first, especially for that age group, 4 to 6. So here, a body part song would be so nice. And there are so many on YouTube that you can look for. The best one I like is Karazaz. So Ra's, Yadan.
Yeah. We will sing this song.
So I want children to be familiar with the body parts before I go ahead and read them a story. You could even have cards that have different body parts, put them around the classroom. You can put them on the floor or give each one and say, Ayn al-yad. So who has the hand? Who has the nose? Who has the, like this? You're practicing and getting your students familiar with the body parts, and then once you read the story, that will make it they'll be a lot more familiar, they'll understand more. So yeah, with this age group, you want to try to keep
Sing a song first for me.
Keep each
Yeah, okay.
activity short and to the point, and you're teaching the same thing basically, but with a different activity. So at first we sang, then we have the cards, we're looking for the body parts. You could have like a big poster, and then each one brings the body part and puts it in the right spot. Yeah, and then reading the story, just so they're more familiar. By the time you read the story, they're more familiar with the body parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
My name is Hasna. Unfortunately, I missed the lessons yesterday because there is misunderstanding. So I would like to participate in one of the groups if you can arrange it.
Are you at home or in school?
I'm in the mosque.
Okay, so
Yeah.
today you can just be part of the lesson just like everybody else. We're just going through what we did yesterday. We're going to be finished with that in 15 minutes, and then we're going to start our today's lesson.
Inshallah.
Thank you. You can mute yourself now. It's a
For sure.
yeah. Thank you. So who did group number 4, the letter Aleph? You guys didn't write your names here. Anyone here?
There's Mia, Rana, and Moshura. The name is in the corner. Do you see it?
Oh, Maya, Rana, and Mushara. Are you guys here, Maya? Rana? You are all muted in case any one of you is talking. Okay, I'm just gonna, for the sake of time, when you're here, just please let me know, raise your hand or something. Group 5. Are any names here?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Unfortunately, I did by myself. I didn't continued my partner yesterday, but I tried by myself, and the topic was about apologize. We in our class.
Just a second. Can you all mute yourself, please? Yes. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
We have in our book, we have a lesson about al-i'tizar. And I thought about it. Apologize is, I think, a great topic for this age, and the object will be how to apologize for somebody when we did a mistake. And between this this group of age, there every time in the class there are many accidents between them, and always complaining, he did this for me, he did this, and that's why I choose this topic. And the hope for me, first, I think when I enter the class, I will do like a scenario or act with one of the students without he or she knows about it, and I try to apologize for him or her to grab their attention, and then maybe after that we will read the lesson from the book together. And for activity, I will try to make like a group of 2 or 3 to make a scenario together and then act in front of the class. After that, for closure, maybe I will ask them some questions, what they learn from this this scenario, or what they think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great. What do you all think? It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I like the idea of how you grab their attention with the scenario, between the student without anybody knowing that that was planned, right? It was going to be a surprise.
Yes,
One
yeah.
of the things I would just say is, how do you connect it to the Quran? And the right now that what's coming to my mind is the story, of course, of Prophet Adam alayhi salam, and how he made a mistake and he was not arrogant and how he apologized to Allah. But maybe you can also come up with some other stories that come to your mind from the Hadith or from the Quran, just to link it.
Yes, yeah, great idea. Yeah, this sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes our ego comes in the way and we don't apologize. So
Yeah.
Shaitan, his ego came in the way, but
Mhm.
Adam alayhi salam, his ego, his arrogance didn't come in the way, right? So he
Mhm.
apologized.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, please do.
I love this topic, and I wanted to just ask, mention something. As teachers, it's important that we apologize when we make mistakes. So I feel sometimes, inshallah, we all do that, and whenever we make a mistake, I'm sure we're going to make a lot of mistakes with our students. It's important that when we do, you can use a story that, oh, remember when I made a mistake and I apologize to you guys? Right. I feel like maybe we can do something with that. Because I'm sure, like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I've made a lot of mistakes and I've had to apologize multiple times to my students. So I feel maybe that connection to real life, and especially that they look up to us as our role models, it's important for them to see us do it and, reflect on it.
For sure, definitely.
Yes.
Good job. Wonderful, mashallah. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
do we have Fatima, Basma, and Ahlam here? Did we not do Ahlam with Amani as well? Okay, I'm just gonna wait. Najla, Maha? Najla, I see you there, and Maha, I think you're there too, yes. Did you want to go, Maha? I don't know if you're speaking because we can't hear you.
Maha?
Najla, do you want to just go and explain this?
Maha has the paper with her. I will text her to see where she is.
I don't know. Did we miss anybody? Fatima, Basma, Ahlam, is anyone here? I think they're probably in the school group.
So I just want to add that it would be great if we added more details to the lesson.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Maha is here.
Maha's here. Okay.
Yes, that's what are you saying? Do you
So
want
I was saying it would be great to add more details to the lesson plan, as if, let's say you couldn't make it to class today. If you give this lesson plan to someone else, they'll be able to go ahead and do whatever you had planned. So yeah, just more
Yes,
details.
and I was saying yesterday, when you guys actually make a collection for your school, that would be great. If all the teachers are making their lesson plans in detail, and then maybe put it in a binder that people can draw from each other's lessons, that would be great, sharing and collaboration. So yes, Maha, do you want to describe this?
Yes, if you want.
Yes, please.
This is the topic called an action and the age 4 to 5. The object given a set of picture, the goal of this lesson, the student will be able to understand the direction given to them in the classroom, and will be able to ask permission to leave the classroom.
Is this an Arabic lesson?
Yes.
You teach Arabic?
Yes, but I have some non-Arabic.
So are you teaching, what is word in
I teach Arabic.
I mean, I'm not still understanding what the lesson is about, the topic.
I have a student non-Arabic. I teach him Arabic.
Sure. And so you're teaching a word and an action. What word and action?
Yes. Like open the door, or give me a pencil, or like a common word, use it in the class. Open the book, like this.
So in a lesson plan, you're going to actually have very specific topic as to what are the words that I'm teaching today. So not just word and action, but okay, I want to teach kitab, or I want to teach qalam, I want to teach bab, or whatever, right? You're going to be writing the words down.
Yes, I will write the word.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes. Okay, Ines, Rola, you have any questions, anything?
Yeah, I was just saying I would have loved to see more details in the lesson plan. I want it to be more specific. So if it's actions in the classroom, then you know, say because if you're trying to teach them words and actions, you want to have a set for the classroom, a set for at home, in the car. So from what I understand, you're trying to teach phrases. So I open the door, or give me a pencil, or so I'm trying to see how you would do that with a set of pictures. So maybe have pictures of different things in a classroom: door, board, pencil, book, and then say أعطني الكتاب, أعطني القلم. Honestly, I just wish I had more details in this.
Yes. So as Ines is saying, and I'll go back to the first sample that we did here. The topic was Nuh alayhi salam. Age was 4 to 8. You can even make it 4 to 6, 4 to 7. And then of course, how do you make it relevant to their life? So you would talk about things that are in the story, like the bullying we talked about, right? Nuh alayhi salam. So how would you grab their attention? And you can come and say, guess what, everybody? I was bullied today. What do you like? I don't understand. My 5-year-old was bullying me, or whatever. You want to come up with a story and talk about it, and then ask them, have you experienced that? And have a little conversation where everybody gets involved into the topic, and just say, guess what? Do you know there's a prophet of Allah who was also bullied? And let me tell you his story. And then you transition into it. And of course in the craft, so I've written details here, and you want to do details in your lesson plan, so that any teacher, let's say today you got sick and you can't teach it, another teacher comes in, just like Ines was saying, they just teach that class. They can look at your plan and say, okay, this is what I have to do.
Yeah. And as we talked about yesterday, especially when it comes to teaching Arabic, you're teaching a second language. Most of the children don't understand the language, and I believe there should be classes of speakers and non-speakers, just so you know what you're focusing on. But yeah, you're teaching a second language. So we talked about having a set routine in the beginning, where you're repeating the same set of information, like salam, how are you, the weather, whatever you choose to focus on for the year or that month. And then you're teaching something specific in the middle. It should be short and sweet and not too much. And then you're ending with the same routine. So starting with the same routine, ending with the same routine, and then having your core lesson in the middle, not too long and engaging.
Are there any questions? How are we doing with everybody who's in class in the mosque? Are you all there?
Yes.
Okay, would you be able to turn on the video so we can see everyone?
Not yet, we are trying still.
Okay, because we're going to start our lesson, and I just wanted to make sure you'll be able to pay attention. Is everybody able to pay attention right now?
Just 2 minutes, otherwise everybody will use his own device. All right.
Okay. All right, so you know what? I'm going to really quickly show you. I don't know if you can see when I change my tab. Can you see this? Ines, can we see the YouTube?
Yep. Yes, yeah.
Okay. So this is, I don't know if you're familiar with Adam's World. Adam's World is a puppet show by Sound Vision. And they teach, Adam and Anissa are the ones who teach different topics from Islam. You can always get your ideas from there. I'm really quickly going to play this for you.
Too much stuff. Too much stuff here. I said,
what's this, Brother Adnan?
this is the alphabet box. Watch. ألف باء تاء ثاء جيم حاء خاء ألف باء تاء ثاء جيم حاء خاء دال ذال راء زين دال ذال راء زين سين شين صاد ضاء طاء ظاء سين شين صاد ضاء طاء ظاء عين غين فاء قاف عين غين فاء قاف كاف لام ميم نون هاء واو ياء كاف لام ميم نون هاء واو ياء.
انت عارفه ليه مش ظاهر؟ لان ده ما تعرفش على
I shared this so that you can actually play something like this to grab their attention as well, because it's got the melody, it's got the, or you can, if you're really good at singing, also learn how to sing it. So in class, and that's where you can start teaching. One of you did the Aleph letter, and so if you wanted to do the alphabets, you could start something like this, right? So you can write this down if you want to. Adam's World. The YouTube channel is Muslim Network TV, but I do believe they have just an Adam's World, but I think they've transferred all their videos to Muslim Network TV. All right. Okay. So any questions before we begin our lesson with our trainer today?
Can I discuss something before we, like till they get ready?
Sure.
So I didn't get to talk to anybody because I had another program in the evening yesterday, but I picked a Samia. My topic was a Samia. And I thought, because I taught, like, for me in the past few years, I was teaching the older girls between like 14 to 17. So my students are more older. Okay, I teach in Arabic, but sometimes I need to involve English because the terms or the sometimes, you know, when you discuss, let us talking about the hearing system, and you want to discuss this, you know, it's hard for them to understand the specific words. So we use English. So I'm gonna just try to discuss this topic, like compare or move between the ages. So if I'm talking to maybe 3 to 5 years, I'm just I will ask Ines to comment here. So can I just, like, let us say I can start with a story, and then I can draw a picture and ask them to put the ears in their places, and ask them to put their fingers in their ears and pretend they can't hear. I'm going to talk and ask them how life is going to be if we can't hear, so we can appreciate Allah's blessings. For older age, maybe from 8 to 12, we can move further. We can like, instead of just having like the story or having a song or having a picture, we can go to a guest, having a guest that can talk about the hearing system and how complicated it is, and subhanallah, like pointing out some points about the i'jaz or about Allah's creation subhanallah, the greatness of his creation. For me, my experience was with my students. They were between 14 to 17, and I had a specialist talking to them, showing them the hearing system, and talking about how, subhanallah, these bones are depending, or each one is depending on the other, how the echo of the sound moves, and then we moved further to talk about Allah as subhanallah as-Sami', and how he's like comparing between when you say that this is human, he can hear, and Allah can hear.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know, like I couldn't talk to anybody about this because I told you, like, and just to explain it, we are in two programs. Some they go Sundays, some they go Saturdays, so we don't get to meet each other. That's what makes all this now stuff between us, like, okay, this group you can talk, oh, we didn't prepare, I did this myself, because it's a weekend and now we are working like we are between online virtual learning and back to the classrooms. We didn't get to meet everyone in the group now, so we might not know each other. So just to explain things now, like maybe I don't know, I didn't get to see May except maybe once. So to have a project with May, maybe I don't have the contact info of May. I had to do this by myself. So if I can just hear any comments. And I have a question about, like, I'm teaching young kids Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam seerah, and I have a student who is visual, and the book was not enough for him to understand the story. He didn't focus at all, and I was thinking of ways other than videos, or other than you know, like watching something on YouTube or whatever, just to get him involved. Because after the class, after I asked him, he couldn't answer any question of whatever I discussed. So I reached him, okay, some kids are visual, some they are sensual, like they use their senses. So this student, like, to be honest, I couldn't reach him. So I was thinking, how can I deal with a student who is visual, if the book is not enough, the pictures in the book, though they are colored, they were not enough for him to participate, other than videos. I want him to listen, but he's not. He couldn't be part of this.
Okay, Ines, you want to take this on?
Okay, Bismillah, that's a lot of things.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
No worries. Okay,
like, if any help will be just appreciated.
Yeah, so you're talking about different ages. So when it comes to the seerah is the seerah. We should be splitting it into little stories and focusing on one small story every time, just so that the child can absorb as much as they can, because let's say you are familiar with the seerah. If you're familiar with the seerah, or you're familiar with any subject, you'll tend to give too much information all at once. You should be focusing on one thing at a time, one family member at the time, one incident at the time. Let's say the incident of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with his wife. We dedicate a day or a week just for Khadija radiallahu anha. We talk about her, we mention her name so many times. So you should, when it comes to big subjects like this, we should be cutting it into small portions for the children to grasp and understand. If your story, let's say, mentions a palm tree, you want to have that present. You want to be using different methods other than the book to pass on the information. Now, what's the second thing you mentioned? You had mentioned
Arabic for different age groups, the ears and body parts or whatnot.
Just let me, before you finish this idea, so you can talk about more than one Sahabi in one class, right?
Yeah.
It gets
you
really
have to
confusing.
on one Sahabi, talk about one, and use educational tools, like either from paper or?
Yeah, like it really depends on what you're trying to teach. But let's say you're trying to do the Sira, you want to try and focus on one or a few at the time, just so the child really understands. Because if you're mentioning too many names, too many incidents, of course they won't be paying that much attention. And repetition is key, you know, and giving each sahabi or each incident a title, a highlight, like mentioning all the time that Abu Bakr is the Prophet's best friend. He's the best friend. He's the friend that was there. Mentioning the incidents where we saw that friendship will help with that. Teaching Arabic to different ages, honestly, it depends on the age and the level. I really believe there should be classes for speakers and non-speakers, just so they can benefit the most. And non-speakers does not simply mean non-Arab, because we tend to do that sometimes in schools. Arabs in one class, non-Arabs in one class. You have children that are Arab but don't speak Arabic. So level here is important, just so, because you're focusing on two different things. You're focusing with the children that understand Arabic, you're focusing on more advanced things. Children that don't speak Arabic, you're focusing on different things. You know, so it's very important to do that. Now, having both together is not a big, I mean, we've had that sometimes, and sometimes I have non-Arabs join Arabic speaking programs. That will help with the exposure. So that helps with the exposure. The child is there listening, but are they benefiting as much as if you had them in a non-speaking program? I really think there should be, you know, splitting there. And especially when you're teaching a second language, we shouldn't go into too much details. We should keep it simple, and our goals should be very limited. So as I said, as I have showed you yesterday, I start the whole year my classes with the same routine, because by the end of the year, I want the child to be able to say, Salaam alaikum, how are you? I am well, how are you? Just the regular conversational Arabic. And then if I'm trying to teach about the body parts, is it a lesson we give once? No, because that child comes once a week and they won't, you know, catch on to this information from once a week, especially if there is nothing that's happening at home. So repetition here is key when you're teaching a second language. We should always keep that in mind. How we're teaching Arabic shouldn't be the same way as we're teaching Islamic studies. Or now, when you mentioned Ismullah Samia, I wasn't sure, are you teaching an Arabic class or are you teaching Islamic studies class? Because
no, I'm teaching. I'm teaching Arabic. It's Arabic class. Okay, they all speak Arabic, but all of them, they were born here or grew up here, so they are familiar with the everyday language, with the everyday words or terms that we use, but not when you come to a specific, very specific words that you need, like, like you don't go deep with the idioms or the words that you are using. So I'm teaching Arabic now, using Arabic, using an Arabic script to deliver. Like I can come in between. Like I want to teach them Arabic, but I use my text. I pick my text again to give them like to teach them moral or teaching something. Okay, but it's Arabic. It's not Islamic.
Huda, I just want to interrupt, just because we have only time till 3 and we have a packed day today. If there is a need for more on the Arabic side of things, I suggest you ask your administration to maybe schedule another one-day training just for this part, so that there could be question and answer. You guys, now that you've taken the training, you would know exactly what to ask based on your classes. And that way, if you give us the questions in advance, we can have Rula and Malika and Inas come in and they can answer your questions that day and show you different ways, inshallah. All right?
And we can always communicate via email.
Thank you.
Or
Yes, inshallah. So just send us the questions. I'm sending you my email address and you can just send whatever questions you have, inshallah, and we can see what we can do about that. But just to move on, alhamdulillah, we had a great day yesterday, and today we are going to focus on middle school and high school. We have a wonderful, wonderful trainer, Sister Malika Haddis, here with us. She is the admissions coordinator and academic counselor at CDI College, which is based in Ontario. And for those of you who are here as observers, everybody here, all the teachers are from Manitoba Islamic Center. Malika is a curriculum and workshop designer. She's also the anti-racist advocate and educator and has been an Islamic school teacher for 15 years. So welcome, Malika. I'm just going to hand it over to you.
Okay, assalamu alaikum, everyone. Anyone who can turn on their cameras, please do. I know, some people have personal reasons why they may not turn their cameras on. But inshallah, I would like to see your beautiful faces and kind of, so that we can kind of get to know each other a little bit, inshallah. So today my topic is geared more towards students who are in middle school and high school. So we're talking about anywhere from grade 6 all the way to grade 12, okay? However, inshallah, I think as we go through the lesson, there may be things for some of the teachers with younger students to find a simpler way to implement. Of course, when kids are older, we have to make things a little bit more complex. And we have to create this balance where, we can engage them and they will stay interested, okay? So inshallah, I'm just gonna share my screen because for the first part of my presentation, I'm gonna go through a lesson, okay? So this is a lesson that I have taught personally, and it was in Islamic studies, and it was the Quran unit, okay, the unit on Quran. I am only giving you guys a sample, okay, of the lesson, because usually in high school classes are anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. So, usually I have more time, but inshallah, I'm going to give you guys a sample, a little short portion, and I hope that everyone can keep their selves muted because I will be playing Quran. And, I wouldn't want all the noise coming in because we are supposed to be as quiet as we can be when we're reading Quran, inshallah. Okay. So, sorry, Nargis, it's saying only host can share the screen, so it's not allowing me to do it. Okay, Jazakallah. Okay. Oh, I'm not sure why it's doing this. Very strange. Okay, here we go. Share sound. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just. Go to the actual presentation. Okay. As well, sisters, I want to ask you all to ensure that you have your devices. If you have a phone, you can play the game. There is going to be a game at the end of my lesson. Just a quick quiz, because I want you guys to see how you can actually play a digital game with your students. Most of the schools that I taught at, definitely high school students, have their own phones. So they were able to play this on the phone or on their laptops once, we went to online school, inshallah. So just to let you know in advance, if you all can get your phones, if you have them. If not, you can use your laptop if you have a laptop, okay? So inshallah, so this is just the main objective. So I'm going to go over, I saw some of you all in your, your activity yesterday, you had to come up with objectives for your lesson. Okay, so here I'm going to go through the whole thing and I will show you what the objective of this lesson is. So this one, this class is about teaching Quran that is relevant to daily life. Okay, so sorry, let me put it on present. It's not on present, sorry. Okay, this is just my bio. Okay, so the lesson is, how does the Quran still have the answers we need for our modern lives? Okay. Learning objective, what does the Quran tell us about dealing with and resolving conflict? What does it tell us about how we should treat people we don't like? How does it tell us to behave? Okay, in general, in these conflicting situations. So inshallah, I'm going to use Surah Hujurat, a few ayahs from Surah Hujurat as an example of Allah's instructions to us.
You click the sound.
Everyone can hear? Can everyone hear?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to take it. I just wanted to make sure we said Bismillah before we start reading, but I'm going to take it to the section of the surah that I will be playing for you today. Okay. That focuses on the lesson that I want to teach.
الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين واعلموا أن فيكم رسول الله لو يطيعكم في كثير من الأمر لعنتم ولكن الله حبب إليكم الإيمان.
Okay, so I'm just going to stop it here and kind of ask the class, and of course, one at a time, if you could raise your hand, use the raise hand option on your Zoom screen, and just let me know if you do want to say something. So far, based on what you have seen on your screen and what you've heard, what is Allah saying to us? Can someone give me one thing that they believe Allah is saying to us at this point?
Excuse me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, just we are as a group, we can here in the mosque, we cannot like do a raise hand, and we cannot
Okay,
ask.
yes. Sorry, sister. Go ahead.
Okay, that's why if we have a question, maybe we will ask, but late. Or
Yes.
After that.
Okay, inshallah.
Okay.
So you can answer even as a group if there's somebody who wants to say something.
To say something, yes, you can.
Excuse me, can you repeat the question again?
Okay, so the question is just based on what I played here of the Surah Al-Hujurat, what do you think? Tell me one thing that you think Allah is saying to us. Okay?
Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, excuse me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if you heard anything wrong that come from one side, from your friend. إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ. What does that mean, my friends? How can I translate this?
Not trustworthy person. Not a trustworthy person.
Yeah, like not. تعالي يا منى تعالي.
Non-trust person.
Yes, that's fine.
Assalamu alaikum. It's the meaning of the ayah is that if you encountered any person who is not trustworthy, or maybe he has not that good of a reputation, if he tells you something, you have to make sure before you believe him. You just don't jump up, believe him, and say whatever he says is right. No, you have to make sure yourself. Do your homework. Ask, make sure that whatever he's sharing with you is the correct information. Or maybe you have to correct it. You don't take it for granted.
Okay, thank you, sister. That's perfect, right? I put it on the screen, the ayah here, where believers, if a troublemaker brings you news, check it first, okay? So Allah is telling us and reminding us to verify, to make sure that we check the information, right? And we don't take all information from everyone equally, right? So if someone comes to you with something, you don't, you know that this person, they always come, they talk about other people, or they, in the past, they have made trouble between other, two of your friends or two other people that you know at your work or whatever. So you know that this particular person does this. So you wouldn't take the information from them the same as you would take it from someone else, okay? As well as, for example, if you know someone lies, you wouldn't say, oh, okay, a liar comes to you and you know this person lied in the past. I mean, we don't want to jump to conclusions and say people are liars, but if a person lied to you and you know that this person lied before, you're not going to take the information the same way, okay? It's not equal, is what Allah is telling us. So Allah is telling us to use our own ikhlaq, our own sense, and figure out if someone is could be telling us the truth or could be telling us a lie, okay? And then Allah proceeds to tell us that the reason why, okay? The reason why he says that. Okay, in case you wrong others unwittingly. What does unwittingly mean? Like unintentionally, not on purpose. Because someone brought something to you, a news, and then you become emotional, you become angry about it, and then you start to dislike this person, or you start to say bad things about that person, okay? So Allah is saying to you, be careful of the information that you receive and who it's coming from, and then be careful of the actions that follow, okay? Be careful of what you do after you receive that information, before you do something that you are going to regret, okay? So Allah is telling you that you will then find out the truth, and then you will regret, mean feel bad, feel sorry about what you did, okay?
لو يطيعكم في كثير من الأمر لعنتم ولكن الله حبب إليكم الإيمان وزينه في قلوبكم وكره إليكم الكفر والفسوق والعصيان أولئك هم الراشدون فضلا من الله ونعمة والله عليم حكيم وإن طائفتان من المؤمنين إذا اقتتلوا فأصلحوا بينهما فإن بغت إحداهما على الأخرى فقاتلوا التي تبغي حتى تفيء.
Okay, so here I want to ask the question. What do you think this line that you see on your screen here, for those of you who read, who are Arabic speaking, you have the Arabic to read. For those who understand the English, you can read the English. What do you think Allah is telling us to do here? Anyone want to volunteer?
I think we
Hasna?
want
Yes,
to.
go ahead.
This ayah means that if you see two groups, for example,
Sorry, sister. Sorry, sister. Hasna was just about to speak.
Oh,
I'll let you speak second.
okay.
Okay, inshallah. Go ahead, Hasna.
Yeah. So if there is two group of people, they are fighting, and we know there is one it's guilty that against other group who's Mazloom. So we have to support the Mazloom against the guilty group, no matter what.
Okay, Jazakallah. Did you want to say something? The classroom? Did you all want to add something?
It's about the same explanation that Sister Hasna has just said, that you have to use the force maybe if you need it to bring them back to their minds and support the one who has been has witnessed all this bad stuff, and you have to put things right.
Okay. Jazakallah, sister. So in this, as you all have said, we have to make sure that we support the group who is right. Is it always easy for us to tell who the right group is? No. Okay, so this is the challenge. This is the challenge of this situation that Allah is making clear to us, that we have. Yes, go ahead.
Because in the previous ayah that you start the lessons, you said we have to make sure and clear the things before we go ahead and decide what we have to do. So this is kind of connected to the previous ayah.
Yes, Jazakallah, sister. Perfect. Okay, so we have to make sure that we, even in this situation, we look at what Allah commanded us to do before, and then we follow that pattern, right? So in situations of war, in situations where one group is oppressing another group, or two groups are fighting each other, many times there are rumors, there are lies, there are different things that people spread, right? Why do they spread those things? To justify their action towards another person, right? So to justify their right to oppress, or their right to fight, or their right to do something wrong to another person, okay? So this is where that portion of what Allah told us before comes into play, because people take wrong information, lies, rumors, backbiting, all these types of things happen, okay? So we have to remember that the biggest portion, I think, of what Allah is saying to us here is that we have to remember that even if our friends, right, our friends, our family were oppressing someone, we cannot take their side, okay? So even if, for example, there's two groups of people fighting, one is from our country, one is from another country, okay? It's not our culture, it's not our country, they don't speak the same language as us. What do? Most of our human nature, what is it? To side with the people we know, to side with the people who speak our language, right? To side with the people who look like us. And we leave the other group and we find reasons, okay? And Shaitan whispers to us and we find reasons to say, oh, no, they can't be right, right? They can't be right because look, they don't look like us, they don't speak like us, they don't do, sort of function in the circle that we function, okay? So we have to remember that when Allah commands us to go against oppression, it doesn't matter who the oppressor is. You cannot stand with